The oldest well-known cryptid sighting in the world probably goes back thousands of years ago when you had cave paintings that depicted these strange, unusual beings. And many people speculated that they were extraterrestrial or some other creatures that these people encountered. Now, the Mothman to me is probably one of the oldest cryptids. It's been around, I think, for thousands of years. Now, the largest cryptid sighting, the earliest, I should say, that really made headlines was that of Spring Hill Jack in London. Now, Spring Hill Jack is this very old legend, and it goes back to the 1800s. Now, at this time, London was a very creepy place, and people often reported late at night as they would walk the streets of London, they would see ghosts and they would see a lot of strange stuff. In 1804, there's this man, and he gets off of work really late one night, and he's walking through the streets of London. He goes past this church graveyard, and he said he hears someone calling his name. And he said it just got louder and louder. So finally, he walks over to the cemetery to see who this is. And he said that's when something jumped out from behind one of the tombstones and grabs him and starts trying to pull him down to the ground and is choking him. Another man happens to come by, and this thing just takes off into the air. And that became the first sighting of what people described as Spring Hill Jack. Another infamous sighting was in the 1840s when there was a woman who was walking late one night down the streets of London, and she said out of this alleyway came this man dressed in all black. He had sort of like this black cloak on. He had bright red eyes and he had horns like a devil. And she said he jumped over to her, at least 10 or 15 feet into the air. He grabs her, throws her against the wall, rips some of her clothing, and starts scratching her face. Finally, he lets go and he takes off into the air. And this became another famous sighting of Spring Hill Jack. And from that point forward, there were hundreds of reports of this man-like creature that was jumping through the streets late at night, going in front of horse carriages, causing them to crash, causing people to disappear. And some people even speculated that Spring Hill Jack was none other than Jack the Ripper. And what's interesting about is that when you look at some of these descriptions, it reminds me of Mothman. So what do you think?